Hello, welcome to Afrinity Connect, the moment we'll be waiting for, the most talked about, the most publicized virtual connects. We're talking about the public discourse, the UN Day, November 18th, that's taking place out there in the whole world, not just in Sierra Leone, not just in any country. We're talking about a UN World Day, November 18th. But Afrinity Connect, talking about Afrinity TV. I'm your host, Wilfred Adams, joining you live here in the cold London. Just jet in from Malawi yesterday. It's a privilege to be here, and I know a lot of people out there have the most talked about program, the most publicized, will be joining all the way from Freetown, Sierra Leone. Chris Paul Otaigbe, my brother from another mother. We're joining you live, and this is live and direct. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well, and how are you doing? It's a great day today, I must say.
Yes, the most talked about. I must appreciate your countdown. We've been doing this, and I quite appreciate what you're doing there in the land of diamond, as I always call it, Freetown, Sierra
Exactly.
Leone, with
It's the
under
Lion's
the
Mountain
leadership.
too.
Go ahead, please.
It's also the Lion's Mountain, they say.
It's similar to Blantyre. I've been wanting to do something very, like a documentary where people can see the mountain in
Hmm.
Blantyre. The same
Yeah.
with Sierra Leone, very Freetown. Same. I love the mountains.
The Sierra Leonean landscape is excellently. It's a blessing to nature. It's a show of nature's blessing, I tell you. And where I am actually is at Sussex. I'm at an ocean view, but which we can't see now because we are in the studio. It's a great place to be, I tell you. And the people are wonderful, and they speak the same. Even though their pidgin is a bit different from Nigeria's, but you could see some kind of similarity. And I've been around the town. It's great people, wonderful people. But the thing about here is that they eat a lot of rice. And for the Nigerian like me, I buy the deal,
You
So,
want to swallow.
so I know. So,
Anyway,
I have, yeah.
yeah, I haven't said that. Talking about Blantyre and
Mm,
Sierra
Freetown.
Leone, Freetown. It's an opportunity to bring in somebody that will be joining us from Malawi. I want
Wow.
to start before starting with Malawi. To be fair, let's start with a country where you are right now. Let's start with Madam Rossi, the Iron Lady. So let's
Okay.
bring her in. She's currently in Bo, Freetown.
Yeah.
Hello,
Freetown.
how are you doing? How are you? It's good to see you from the
Thank
Lion
you.
Mountain, the land of diamonds. Tell us
Yes.
who
The
you
land,
are
Yes.
the
and
land,
what you represent.
the land of diamonds, right? Good day,
Yes.
everyone.
Wow. Good to see
Um,
you, Iron
yeah.
Lady.
Yeah, tell us who you are and what you will you be telling us about the November 18th today.
Well, I am Rasiba, the Vice President for Sierra Leone Film Council South, and I also double as the Executive Director for Salon. Salon is an acronym which means Center for Advocacy and Sustainable Empowerment. I'm also with the Thank you.
Fantastic. So
Fantastic.
that's lovely. Tell us about, in your video introduction, you spoke about Hands Up Our Girls. I know Her Excellency, the First Lady of Sierra Leone, she's currently, supposed to making a very fantastic presentation this morning. I know she either en route to back to Freetown now for that historic on November 18th. Tell us about Her Excellency and the Hands of Our Girls out there in Sierra Leone.
Well, thank you so much. This is an amazing moment for us to see how we can continue to talk about this particular initiative, for which for the past years since December 2018, Her Excellency Fatima Madeview, who tried in her own ways to see how she can put ideas together put resources together and call on different personalities. And towards the launch, throughout the years before or during the Civil War, Sierra Leone reported during that time about so many cases throughout the 9-year world in Sierra Leone, conflict that has been widely spread, and systematic sexual and violence against girls and women has been the talk of the day. And such has also been happening with the use of different instruments, different sizes of men and boys, women and girls. And the incidence of sexual transmitted disease is also at a very high rate. And the victims are most times before this time not protected, not overheard, and have little or no attention from their parents or even the society at large. And from the inception of this particular event, we are glad to see that the First Lady herself, in her wisdom, with the hands of our girls campaign, as her flagship program. This campaign was launched in December, as I said, December 2018, specifically to bring awareness, influence policies, and support women and girls to have access to reproductive health care and treatments for conditions like fistula, cancer, you name the rest. And also to eliminate such abuses, such as early marriage, as I was once a victim, so I talk from within. And also child marriage, early marriage and forced marriage, and also gender-based violence, rape. And in Sierra Leone, we have two categories of rape. Rape, women ranging above 18 years, we call that one rape. For sexual penetration, from 0 to 18 years is sexual penetration. And in her campaign, there were a series of policies, series of engagements, including stakeholders, community level, national and international partners were also on the known towards this particular campaign. And the campaign is very personal to the First Lady, and she feels so passionate about it and its successes. Since the launching, the campaign she has told the entire nation, meeting the paramount chiefs, local authorities, imams, the religious leaders, the tribal leaders, we have 16 tribes in Sierra Leone now. And for her to move within the 16 districts in Sierra Leone, it touches so many souls and so many hearts for her to reach at the level. And women and girls carry the highest percentage according to statistics. Her advocacy has also considered so much success, in as much I also made mention of some challenges and some gaps. But improving the quality of life for young girls, especially adolescent girls, who are the make and break points of life in Sierra Leone, and empowering them to speak out against being abused, evidenced by increase in police departments reports about rape and SP cases, sexual penetration cases, gender-based violence cases. Women and girls' voices are now being heard when they report about sexual exploitation, and perpetrators are also withheld at the police cells, and there are also other local courts that has been attached to these perpetrators. And in Sierra Leone, for the past 1 or 2 years, we have been receiving cases. They have tried cases, and I want to name names amongst so many. Kameramba was one of the figureheads for a particular political party. Up to now, as I speak, he's still in jail, even though they have granted him bail for medical attention. So these are just few of the issues I can say they are successes, because long before this time, so many people don't pay attention to it. And we also have the gap and challenges, as I was saying, These are most of the challenges because of compromise, because of tradition, religion, culture, and society. And what the society can quote about a person, either the victim or the suspect or the accused, and even the police, the lawmakers. So these are some of the gaps we are also tied up with. So we have so many cases reported, and most of these cases are also compromised in certain points. But as I was saying, these are issues for which the First Lady herself took the championship, invites many stakeholders, and see what can be done. Now, even if you point at a 16-year-old girl or less than that, they will tell you, hey, don't tamper with that girl. She's Fatima Bill's child. And that's a good success. Of course, yes. If you go to the hotel, you go to the nightclubs, you go to the bars, you find big men and women pointing their fingers, saying, hey, don't go there. That place is not it's a no-go area, and they are children of Fatima Bill. So please, hands off our girls. So the Hands Off Girls campaign, even the women at the village level, at the community level, even if they cannot speak or write English, they know what is hands off our girls. They know the name of Fatima Bill. And she was the first female First Lady to take up that initiative at this level, despite the challenges, despite the gap. And this was the time we actually get complaints, series of reports from family support units, from Rainbow Initiative, from other local and international partners. And we have statistics that can show, before this time they would just say Pujon, Moyamba, Bo, but now you speak with statistics, you speak with figures, you talk from an informed point of view. Wow. And now that we have policies, we have laws which can guide us through this process, it takes the special grace of God to continue to say thank you to Fatima Bill, and thanks to all the partners, including local partners at the community level, who are taking up this initiative. And to the survivors, like I said, it takes the special grace of God.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. You speak passionately, and that's why we said we will start from the home. We'll start from the beginning. So I think you said it all. We're so, and I know you're touched. It's an emotional moment for you, and of course for all the girl child, especially speaking from Sierra Leone, from the inception, from the war part and everything. I want to say thank you so much for that insight. Mr. Chris, I think we'll just go straight now to Lantai. I know this is it's a live program. God bless you. God bless you, Rasia. God bless you. Thank you so much for this informed analysis you've given to us. I know this is a live program. People are going to watch it later, and your names will be written in gold. God bless you. Thank you for this informed, this knowledge you've shared, not just in Sierra Leone, because this is digital. Posterity will judge you for this good thing you've just informed, knowledge you've transformed to the world. Thank you very much. Having said that, I think we'll go straight now to Blantyre in Malawi. This morning, Fanny Davis, a Malawian actress, she was invited just by seeing the poster in Malawi right now, and they invited her to the National Broadcasting Corporation. And she was live as early as 6 a.m. You were talking about this program. Tell us about it. It's good to have you. Introduce yourself and tell us about Malawi and your experience this morning talking about this program. And what do you have to say about this November 18? Go ahead, Fanny Davis, please.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Fanny David. I'm from Malawi, Blantyre. As he said, I'm an actress. Yes, today I was live at Malawi Broadcasting Corporation TV, that they were really interested and to know what is going on, what is all about the UN and how we organized. So I was there to actually explain to them what it's all about, and our theme is women and child sexual exploitation, abuse, and violence. So they were very the comments were so good, because for us to for people to think about this program, it's very, very important for to us. So what I talked to, I will just go straight to the point about the our program today. In Malawi, actually, so far, we just thank our the Minister of Gender. Actually, is doing the level best to help underage children and together with women. In 42% or here in Malawi, in every 5 women and children, one is always a victim of this violent sexual abuse and violence. So you see, underaged, before the age of 18, you see these children, they are out there on the street. Not sometimes just because of poverty and they like undisciplined. They are not well disciplined by their parents. So they are out there to practice this sexual exploitation, which is very bad to them. But because they are young, they won't understand. So there were several awarenesses that they were happening here in Malawi about this sexual exploitation, abuse, and violence. And we also appreciate the police, Malawian police force, that they've been working so hard with the gender by going into the streets, the liquor shops, the bars, that where you can find these kids. They were able to take them from there. At least they were keeping them in cell for just for a few days, for them at least to learn something from it. And we just appreciate, I appreciate a lot about that, and the awareness itself. So the Malawi government, actually in general, is working so hard with their efforts to at least to try and fix this sexual exploitation, abuse, this all violence in women and children too. So in terms of the government have been able to give them sponsorship in education. Yeah, for those who cannot afford the education sometimes, the government is there to give sponsorship, and the different NGOs are there to offer that, so that a child should not just stay home, at least can be able to go to school, despite taking the wrong way. Yeah, because many children, because of poverty, because of them failing to go to school, they think that the only way is to go to the street. So this actually has been, so far it has been well handled, and the punishments too for those people who find themselves out there who are very young, those who are involving children in the sexual abuse, at least they've been sentenced to prison maybe for 21 years. The children that are involved with adults are 14 years sentenced in prison, which is very good, that at least they learn something from that, and that it helps them to go back to school, and encouraging them to actually follow the right way. And in terms of what the parents should do, at least to minimize this challenge that we are facing with these children, the parents have been able to give them discipline. Yeah, we encourage the parents to discipline their children, so that at least they can follow the right way of life. People should also understand the meaning of child abuse, because with some of them, they just hear about child abuse, but while they don't really understand what is it about, what is abuse itself. Yeah, sometimes, people can be all right, nowadays, in this time here in many schools here in Malawi, we have been teaching the children on how to know that these parts, they are not supposed to be touched with anyone. It's like your private parts. Yeah, we teach them how not. If someone
Safe
touches
touch.
them, it means
Call it
that they
safe
cannot.
touch.
Sorry.
Safe touch. Go ahead. You're saying the right thing. Please. Sorry for.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Right.
I'm
Yes.
agreeing with you.
Self touch. Yeah.
Safe
So,
touch. Yeah.
all right. Thank you. Yeah. With that, actually, it's helping now most of the children. They should understand that you can even ask. Sometimes you try and ask, "Oh, what happens if this one touch you here?" Ah, no, it's not like that. Is too bad. You can never touch me there. So it's very, very nice, and we are just appreciating the government for introducing this, and also I should say in the punishment of being sentenced in prison. We have had several cases in which that treated by their husbands. Yeah, we had a case that a woman was killed by the husband, and this didn't start today. It means that when someone reaches that point, it means that that abuse didn't start at the same time. It means that it started a long way. Then the woman was just bearing it just because of children. Most women, when you ask them, why are you still in this marriage? You are being mistreated several times. So they always say that because of my children touch my. But so because of their awareness, the women are all they are able to defend themselves. Yeah, they know where to go when they reach this kind of treatment. So this is helping the women whenever they are facing this challenge and violence, they really know what to do and where to go for them to be helped. Yeah, so because of this, men who are doing that, who are offending the women, they've been able at least to be punished, because sometimes they take as if because men have power, they think that maybe they can do anything they want with the woman once they marry them. But they go to they have to know their rights, that whatsoever, no matter what circumstances is, what you're facing with your wife, even a challenge like marriage, you should not reach this level. This level is the maximum of it. So at least now, everything is actually, the cases are reducing. We don't have that much cases now, but though we are still trying to make people be aware, like especially in the villages, because as in town, people know and understand what it's all about, the abuse itself. But in the villages, it's very challenging for them to understand what you're trying to say. Apart from our culture, yes, we have cultures that a woman has to respect men, as I believe that the Africa as a continent, we also share the same culture. So because of the culture, then village, though it was challenging for them, that it's a way of living, but because of their awareness that we're still giving them out, they are able to understand what it's all about.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think that was articulate. Mr. Paul Chris Otaigbe, my co-host. I think
Yes,
this was well put together by Fanny Davis. Thank you very
yeah,
much for sharing that,
yeah, the
out
Malawian
here in London.
experience.
This awareness is very important. Thank you very
Very,
much
very,
for that.
very,
So,
very.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think we'll move straight now to, let's come to London here. We've got a lot of guests right there at the back studio. We can see you. Now let's come to London here. We've got Adi Gorati live and direct. So Adi, please, can you introduce yourself and tell us your knowledge about these manners?
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Adi Goretti. I live in London, and professionally, it's part of what the government has actually been dealing with in schools as well, because it's happening, all over the place, especially when the awareness of children, very young children in secondary schools, going back to Africa, and they go and get involved in initiations, which is cultural, from what Fanny just said, is agreed. but the people of the first world see it very differently. So my perspective actually is to talk about, the sexual exploitation of women generally, which results in children and very young children. I mean, it's sometimes in Africa you don't want to even believe what happened to a little child, a little baby, very vulnerable baby. Yes, the young people are suffering from those sort of harm because I think it's again because of the sort of world we live in, because of the inclusivity of our families, the implicitness of people keeping culture mum. They don't talk about it. People just accept it, so which it definitely is very significant damage that it causes to children. It causes them physical, mental, emotional, and their well-being is sort of shattered. Their young life is, torn apart, and some of them are not quite able to formulate relationships in terms of man-woman relationship, because I've heard of someone, you come, they're so scared even if a man touches them for the right reasons, so as an extension, it has very profound and damaging outcomes, and the consequences of their to their families. It's not just the child, it's not just the girl child. What about the mother of the child? What about the uncle? What about the sister? So that is the perspective in which I look at it, the nuclear family and the extended family. So parents, and those who actually care for those young children are all traumatized by this abuse and violence towards the children, and therefore we are going to look at it from what the First Lady of Sierra Leone is doing, which is really brilliant from the point of view of safeguarding these children. uh, you've mentioned London. There is safeguarding everywhere in schools now, even in homes, to ensure that these children are protected from such menace, as Chris Otagwe put it in his introduction. And when you look at that, you want to go probably to look at, let's praise our girl. Let's praise how God has created these women that are so abused. I'm just going to mention but a few. Remember that the girl child is a blessing. It's not a curse. Yes, proven that by themselves in many fields of life, due to their work, they're hardworking, they're dedicated, they're more talented, they are very obedient, and these men just take them for a ride. So that is what we want to protect, so that we can show love towards them, towards their families, and they actually grow up to be what God has said in the Bible, maternal instinct. They are the blessings that we have been given. So up to the First Lady for what she's going to actually do and what she's been doing, and what all my sisters here have actually proclaimed that they are involved in. And in this place, everyone who is in education is involved in protecting the child. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you very much. That was articulated. That was well put together. Adi Gorati, you never disappoint. I know you are in the education field. You speak in your heart, and you know exactly what you're saying. So thank you very much for joining this special discourse. We're happy to have you on the platform.
I'm humbled as well to be invited. Thank you.
Yes, yes. So
Wow.
we'll move straight now to Nigeria. We've got Toyin, and the back studio. We've got Toyin. I don't know if Didi Taiwo, please can you come on and introduce yourself and tell us your name and what you want to say about this discourse, please.
Okay, my name is Toyin Ndidi Taiwo Ojo, and I'm a legal practitioner, but I'm also in the LGBT world. I'm a gender activist and child safety advocate. We have been doing so much in Nigeria to fight and ameliorate the menace called sexual and gender-based violence. Um, when we started this work against LGBT, we discovered that as time goes on, more and more boys, more and more male of the male gender are also being abused. So it is no longer just specifically targeted to women, which was what we used to see traditionally. Now we have more men who are being abused and sodomized, you know, as a form of violence. And over the years, I can say that in 2020, the federal government of Nigeria actually declared a national emergency on against sexual and gender-based violence, specifically rape, because at a point we had sexual referral centers reporting as much as 10,000 rape cases daily. That for us was huge and was something that we needed to attack at the core. And luckily, we have seen a decline with more advocacy and sensitization. We have seen people, we have seen communities rising up to fight this menace. You see, we in our culture in Nigeria, we have what I refer to as the culture of silence. That culture is when rape happens or any of these sexual and gender-based violence happens, victims, survivors are encouraged, not to speak out, because speaking out will mean that they may not get married. There's this social stigmatization, discrimination. But now we are getting people who are, because of the advocacy and sensitization that we have been doing, we are getting people who speak out more. I recently handled a case of three brothers who were sodomized by their pastor. And the good thing about this is that the mom was courageous enough to go and make a report in the police station. And we see a change in the ways first responders like security, like the police, respond to issues now. Unlike before that victims, survivors are mostly blamed, Now we are seeing even police officers, standing up to say, oh, enough is enough. And in the particular case I referred to, the community actually came together to thank the mother of the children for standing up for her children. So this is a far cry from what we used to have in the past, where people keep quiet and do not want these things to be out in the open. We are not saying that it is uhuru yet, that people are no more being abused. No, we are not saying that. We are not saying that the culture of silence has been automatically removed. No, we are not saying that. But what we are saying is that it is not as bad as it used to be, and which is a good step in the right direction. We are also seeing organizations coming forth to actually offer free services to survivors of this menace, of this violence, sexual violence. We are seeing centers, we call them sexual referral centers. These centers are organizations mostly sponsored with by donor organizations, and they offer free medical services. Apart from that, they also offer psychosocial services, interventions for people, for survivors. We have seen cases where even survivors go to these sexual referral centers and they are given transport money to, for their trip back and forth. So this also encourages victims, because most times victims and survivors do not want to come forth because they do not have the financial wherewithal to address to seek for justice. Then we are also seeing the government establishing um, sexual offences courts. These courts are manned by well-trained judges who are specialized in the offense, in who are specialized, in knowing the signs of sexual violence, and we see them giving out judgment in accordance with the law. They are not intimidated. We recently had a case which I was very involved in, where a very notable Nigerian who is a philanthropist, is a medical doctor, who was abusing the niece of the wife, and we saw this person given life imprisonment, which, because of his status and status in society, before now it would have been very impossible to get justice for such a survivor. But we got justice, and this is one of the many success stories that we have had. Do we have challenges? Yes, we have challenges. Like I earlier mentioned, we have a culture that stigmatizes, discriminates against people who have been sexually violated, because virginity, sexual purity is seen as something that every young lady should bring into the marriage. But like I will always say, those who violate these people, they are not spirits. They are from our communities. We see that culture still inhibiting some survivors from coming forth. Then we have the problem of, because of the large population of people that we have, the large population of Nigeria, we have a situation where the courts that exist are not enough to provide these legal services to victims who even seek for justice. We also have the problem of the police not being well funded. The police remains the that are the fore of first responders when it comes to sexual violence, because in Nigeria we have a system where it is the police that actually charges, investigate and prosecute, then for the crime of sexual violence. We see how where the police do not have vehicles to go and make arrests of abusers, of offenders. We have situations where the police do not even have enough vehicles to transport the offenders to the courtroom. They do not have money to even make duplication of case files, which is very necessary for the prosecution, for the success of any prosecution that is being done. We also have situations where the prison sent a memo to the court that the prison yards are over full, and therefore lesser crimes should be summarily tried, and maybe community service be meted to them, because they don't know how space in the prison yard. So these are many of the challenges that we face, even as face, try to get justice for survivors. We also have the issue of our safety as sexual violence and sexual violence advocates, because most times these perpetrators and their families, go out to actually try to harm advocates who are fighting against this sexual menace, because it is seen that sexual violence is when someone is accused of sexual violence, it is seen as a disgrace to the family.
Okay, I've not seen you. The man will let you in, but he's seeing you.
So that is
sorry,
one of those things.
I'm so sorry about that. Please go ahead. I'm so sorry about that.
Okay, so that is one of those things that we encounter. Then we also encounter the emotional, the secondary trauma on under sexual violence responders, the police and advocates. Because we hear so much of these sad stories, it is very, very difficult for most times for us to be able to distance ourselves, in trying to be empathic from this story. And some of us experience PTSD. So these are issues that are at the fore of our fight. But like I have said, we have made a lot of progress. And I believe that with more important discourses like this on this issue, more progress will be made. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm so touched by by your submission, especially from that legal perspective. You've not only imagine you're not just an advocate for that, you are into the profession. Imagine just an ordinary victim. If you can have this in-depth knowledge, especially the aspect where you talk about the prisons, the limitations, if Nigeria as a big brother, these are the reality. The judiciary, you talk about limitation in the judiciary, limitations in the security, police, and now even the prison service. For me, I'm even well informed about this. So thank you very much. I'm really touched by your submission, and we're really happy to have you on board.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Well, now we're moving from Nigeria, moving back now to Sierra Leone. We started from a female. Now we're moving to a male, Apostle Vincent Massacoy. How are you doing? Introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and what's your story. Let's make it as much as possible so that we can accommodate others that are also in the waiting room.
Good afternoon. Greetings to everybody that is on this platform and everybody that is watching us. I am Apostle Vincent Massacoy, a Sierra Leonean, and I am the CEO and founder of My Life, My Beauty companies in Sierra Leone. Now to the topic, what I want us to first of all look at is our own responsibility as a company or as an NGO, what we are here for. We've decided to make it a point of duty, and we've decided to make it our own aims and objectives, like to support the First Lady into this fight. We are making it right because we have seen it that is working for the benefit of us all in the country and in Africa as a whole. What I know about the girl child is previously, most of us that have the girl child, we have been afraid because all that has been happening around the girl child has not been encouraging anyway. But when our own mother came into it and said, no, we have to stop everything and make sure all those that have girl children will have the confidence that a girl child is not just a profit to the nation, but a profit to you, the father, and the mother as well. And so she's fighting to make them to be protected. So we are coming in as an NGO to support her, to make her understand that when she is making them to understand that they are important, we are also bringing them up to understand that they have a beautiful life to live. Now the life is given to you. You are now protected. You now walk freely, and you are now like doing the best that you can. But then after everything, what are you going to offer back to the nation? So that's what we are fighting for. My Life, My Beauty is an NGO that is fighting to see that these girls are now able to do what they can do for the growth of themselves and the nation as well.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. So so we are targeting that. We are not just sitting down as Sierra Leoneans to look at the whole project being facilitated or mandate by the First Lady. No, we all have roles to play. Like what my wife and I are now doing, we decided to go to schools and to teach them the importance of their life. The life is given to you. Oh yeah, the life is given to you. The First Lady is making the platform for you to be protected. That's fine. But then, what's the beautiful part of this life? First of all, you have to take care of yourself. As a God child, now you are protected. You have to take care of yourself. You have a future to live. You have things that you have to do as a God child that will bring more benefit into your own country, that will keep you going. And at the end of the day, we'll have virtuous women as, as a whole in the nation. And that's what we are fighting for. That's our own goal. That's what we're here for. And we are going to make that work all over Sierra Leone. And we're going to hit the entire Africa. That your life, you have to make it beautiful. That's why we said, my life, my duty. It's my life. I have the responsibility to make it beautiful.
Wow.
Beautiful. My life, you know, my beauty.
My life, my beauty. My life, my
beauty. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you very much for, you know, that support that you also giving and that initiative. We're very, very happy to have you, brother, on this platform. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, brother. You're welcome. I'm here.
Yes, and Mr. Paul Otaigbe, so how are you? What have you seen so far before we bring in the next speaker?
Wow, from hearing this great people today, I must tell you that the awareness and the consciousness of this menace is really growing and deepening. You know, I must thank God for this platform and for this forum, because I don't know of any other platform that's doing this today. You know, as to give the importance that that particular issue needs to be given, and this platform is the global, maybe making a global first to do that, and that's a credit to Afrinity, and then of course to all our participants who the world will hear from, are hearing from as we speak. And the issue of sexual violence is really traumatic to everybody or anybody who is unfortunate to be in that situation. And it is for them that we're holding this discourse. And it's also for them that we brought all these great people, great minds. We've had half of them. We're going to have here the half later, and everybody will see it. You know, it's instructive that we know that 1 in 4 in every 4 girls and 1 in every 9 boys, you know, across the globe experience sexual violence before they are 18 years old. And that's bad. And that means, you know, like Adi had said, and Toyin, even Rasiba and Fanny, including Vincent, now they've all validated the fact that this is a very, very, very serious problem. And everybody in their corner from their world are giving us their own perspective and experience and what they see the solutions people are generating. So I think this is quite grand and it's quite great. The platform and the forum today will go down on record as, you know, as one that has given clarity or is giving clarity to the UN, to the theme of the UN World Day as we prepare. That's what I can give right now. You know, we want to hear the rest of these people so that we can be gingered up more.
Yes, definitely. It's a special program. We want to thank all the special participants, the guests that have spoken eloquently, efficiently, from here in the UK, Adi Goretti, to the southern part of Africa, Fanny Davids, and of course to Sierra Leone, where the High Excellency, Dr. Fatima Madabio championed this whole initiative. That credit to her for this, not just the testimony from Rassi, and of course from Apostle Vincent, what the First Lady is doing in Sierra Leone, but also herself championing the day coming in the next 3 days, precisely on the 18th Saturday of November. We're talking about 18th Saturday, 18th of November, how she has made this day possible. We're really grateful. And then want to go back again to Sierra Leone to check on, as we round up, we wanted to talk to, where I think she's offline now. Let's come back to the UK. We still have Adi behind the scene, in the studio. Let's bring her. Adi, how are you doing? How do you feel about this testimony? Not just your wonderful presentation. How do you feel about others? Their, testimony about this menace. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Yes, I think it's when I look at it from the perspective of Africans, and how much we have been in the dark, or how much we have been mum about, your uncle is abusing your little sister and you can't do anything about it. I mean, I grew up to be aware that some of the older ones that have passed were pedophiles, because of the stories you hear, the things you see happening. So the fact that we've reached this century where our men, our women, mothers and fathers are so aware of what is happening, and the NGOs are doing something. One of my favorite bloggers once, actually, she was weeping the other day because she wants to go back to Nigeria to help set up a foundation to help young girls, who, people just pick them up as if they are instruments, they are objects. And of course, if you go back to the century, that is the misogyny that we've had before. But even the men are aware of it. So from everything they have done, I mean, I can only say my heart, I raise my heart for everything that is happening in Africa, including Nigeria as well. People are very aware. Our girls will be protected, and they will just fulfill their destinies, and of course, achieve what they are able to achieve. And that in itself helps society, isn't it? Make society a holistic, what would you call it, entity that people will look at and be proud of, And I think the healing process is a more difficult one, but that is what all of them too are trying to do. Look at Pastor now, Pastor Vincent, talking about what they're doing in their own church, hopefully these women are protected under an umbrella, not pretending that we are protecting them and yet abuse them, because you know what has gone on with Catholics and pastors. I mean, it's been worldwide for a long time. So I'm glad about the awareness, especially Africa.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that wonderful insights. We still have Rosalie, the Iron Lady. Tell us about, before we round up, can you just give a summary about your experience in Bo? You are in the southern part of Freetown. Can you summarize as we round up? Unmute yourself, please.
Sorry.
Go ahead, please.
The experience here in the southern part of Sierra Leone is that of too much of compromise. But despite the compromise, there are also some successes. We now have some girls who are bold enough to say I've been raped. You have parents who can go to the police station and take reports. You have schools engagements. And we also have a curriculum now which have been recently factored into the school curriculum at secondary school level and even primary school level. We also have database exposed to partners. Long before this time, if you ask for database, they will say, no, I will not give it to you, or you are not the appropriate person, because we now have the right to access to information. So if you go there, you meet the right authorities, you express yourself, then they can give you the reports. Despite that, we also have people who are bold enough to talk about their menstrual hygiene and talk about the cycle. Before this time, it was a taboo. We also have parents helping their children to see how they can educate them, because we now have the peer education program. Especially for me at my organization, what we have been doing is peering people and students, and also getting and coaching parents about the well-being of their children. And when we talk about the well-being of these children, we don't just target the boys, but we target boys and men, girls and women, for us to see how we can get a safe environment for these children. And the children, especially girls, they are our gem. They are the future leaders of this country. So for me, it's a blessing in disguise. I like to quote these words because long before this time, these are issues you hardly talk about them. And now there is no corner, no district, no village, no community where you will not hear about the name of Fatima Bio, neither the hands of our girls. And even with the symbol, hands of our girls, it's always open to every other person, especially those of us working in these rural communities. And coming to our film sector, we use short videos, we use entertainment stories, because most of these girls at times, if they go to the social media, they only look for pornographic information and things like that. Now, I want to see how we can feed them with short stories, telling them about our policies and the laws we have, and how they themselves can pay much attention to their responsibilities instead of their rights. They now have the awareness of their rights, but towards their responsibilities, there is a gap. And that gap can only be achieved when you pair them with their peers and also with their parents. You tell the parents what they are supposed to do and what they are not supposed to do. You also tell the children what are their rights and what are their responsibilities and that of limitations. And putting the education as the number one priority. In the past government, we had the free quality education as a flagship program. And in that same time, we also have the First Lady, Fatima Bio, Hands Off Our Girls campaign, as her own flagship program. And up to now, there are a series of successes she has done in inviting other stakeholders from different countries. Monica from Nairobi, yes, she's not an exception, and her husband, the president, and other stakeholders, and making a statement in different occasions. These are policy statements. And then we also have the political will, wherein the president have passed series of bills, laws, policies to empower girls and women. So to me, we have the right people to talk about the issues, and it's a process. It is an process, but not an event. Because to change the mindset of individuals, especially the elderly, not only talking about these children, you have to take step by step issues and see how we can change the approach. And our approach within our organization, we use a community-led approach where we have both boys and men, we have girls and women, putting them together, identify the gap, identify the challenges, and solve them together. So we also have community bylaws. In as much we have our national laws, we also have community bylaws which can relate within the social geographical area where we are meeting. And these bylaws are being put together by these parents, by these boys, by these men, by these girls, and by these women. So to me, we've done so much, and there are still so much to do. As I said, it's not an event, it's a process. But for the past 4 years up till now, we are still struggling with compromise within our communities. But girls are very bold to talk about issues. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Each time you
Wow, that was
yes,
that
Yeah,
was
if I
quite.
can also,
You have
okay,
more to say?
1 minute, please. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
go ahead. Go ahead.
please
I
go
can
ahead.
talk of right. One amongst
Go
still
ahead.
amongst the other achievements I can also boldly talk about is the Sexual Offences Act, which was updated in September 2019, now requiring a 15-year minimum imprisonment for a rape conviction, and it's up
Wow.
to 2 years maximum in that area. And the conviction for girls, before this time, we used to say the policies were just backing, they don't have teeth to bite. But now these
Hmm.
policies, laws, and acts, they have teeth to bite. And we also
Right.
have examples towards that. We also have a track special court for rape cases, which was launched in 2020, 2 years back,
Wow.
which
Special
turned
court.
cases around within weeks. Special courts. Yes, because before this time, when you take all of these issues to one court, you have delay in executing the law. So now you have special attention, special court, and special people trained to convict these issues. We also have the campaign sponsored and facilitated training for 40 medical doctors across the country, for which they treat only SP and rape cases. And they testify in court as they are the only people that have the legal mandate and backing to specify in court based on all of the examinations they have gone through and how they can do that within a confined area and not disseminating the information to different people because of stigma and community information. We also get the free sanitary pad. For long before this year, students or people used to use the native way or traditional way of preventing their cells using a traditional pad. Now we have different methods of different kinds of pads, including the free sanitary pads distributed by her First Lady Fatima Biu. We also have all the donors, other sponsors, other organizations coming together to put ideas how they can do reusable pads so they can train these children and they can use it. And the pad Fatima is sending to these children during school time, it's a 1-year package. So that also reduces, and if you go to these schools, you ask for retention, you have more retention within these days than the previous one. There's also a construction of a hospital in Freetown for a 7-building facility that will host survivors or rape victims or gender-based violence victims. That is also a work in progress. We also have the family support unit being capacitated to guide this process along the way, especially when we are dealing with community members. And bulk of the population, when we talk about gender-based violence, I'm not saying it is not happening in the bigger cities, but it is more frequent in these rural communities, especially hard to reach areas. Because there we talk about limitation of education, civilization, fear of tradition, values, norms. We uphold these values and norms in our communities, apart from those living in cities. And those living in cities, they have access to internet, they have access to the information, they have access to private schools. But those living in communities and hard to reach areas like what we are dealing with right now, they will not get access to this information we are sharing right now. So us living in these communities have the time now to do short videos and send them to them so they can be watching it. We also do community cinema tour where we go to these places and show them what is happening around their communities and around the globe. For them, this International Day celebration, they don't know. They have no idea. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I know this is not going to be the end. We're going to continue this engagement, not just after Saturday, which is the special day. We want to work with you and, of course, other partners on this platform to take it to the next level. On that note,
we have a joker.
Yeah, on that note, we're taking us now to Lagos, Nigeria, from Freetown, bro, the southern part of Freetown. We're moving now to the, let's say, United States of Africa. There's a Niger. Let's welcome Madam Ajoke. And please, can you introduce yourself and also have...
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for inviting me. My name is Ajoke Erubugbeleyi. I retired 6 years ago from the Lagos State Civil Service. And ever since I've been engaged in my NGO, Focus Girls Moral Regeneration Support Initiative. I've been engaged in Focus Girls Support. In our NGO is Focus Girls Moral Regeneration Support Initiative. And before I tell you what I do, please, I really want to appreciate the First Lady of Sierra Leone, Her Excellency Dr. Mrs. Fatima Madabio. She's doing a good job. And of course, the Iron Lady, that was nice, the presentation, all you have said. I hope this will unite us. This program, I look forward to see a form of unity, because it's a global phenomenon. And I like that slogan, hands of our girls, please. It's a slogan that we should promote. And before I tell you what we do, let me also tell you about our First Lady. I guess she'll be coming on November 18th for the program. This is a woman with foresight. This is a woman, you know, I resigned from the Ministry of Education. Our First Lady, Senator Remi Sinumbu.
Yeah, she'll be, let me quickly jot in there. She'll be live and direct in the, yes, on, yeah.
On the 18th, but let me mention this, because I don't know if, she introduced what you call the spelling bee for our teenagers in secondary schools. So I want to see this initiative being spread in Africa. This same woman with that kind of initiative also introduced trip to Finland. Our teenagers travel to Finland for a period of 10 years. I think it stopped because of COVID. I was on that trip, the last 2 trips, 9 and 10. So what I'm saying, we have women, strong women in Africa who can promote this. It's something that all hands should be on deck. So to tell you what we do, I also want to appreciate our youth here. When we talk about rape and all that, I don't think it's rampant, but we need to curb it before it gets to that stage. Because we traveled sometimes to Africa, 2 countries in Africa, and we were asked not to go out around 7 p.m. I'm proud of my country. We haven't reached that stage. But before we reach there, all hands have to be on deck. So what we do as an NGO is basically on prevention. We want to prevent it. It's like you say, prevention is better than cure. So what we do, we have products. We have products like books. Our book, we have Wise and Witty Adolescents. And then we have a song, Focus Girls song. We also have, we also organize interactive forums with school guidance counselors. So when we are saying knowledge is power, so we really need to come together and spread the knowledge. And of course, I will talk about my NGO without appreciating some Nigerian, Mrs. Nike Esiet. She has this Action Health. She's the CEO, Action Health Incorporated. She has done so much, but we need more of her. And of course, there's a philanthropist who recently launched a film on exploitation of the girl child. I'm not going to mention the name now, but if all of us can come together, I know that this menace will be reduced drastically.
Thank you very much. That was quite nice. First of all, I must quickly put in here that I like the fact that you mentioned what the First Lady of Nigeria, Her Excellency Senator Remi Tinubu, is doing. I want to bring you to historical notice about how the day actually came about. Nigeria and Sierra Leone actually moved the motion, and it was supported by 120 countries. And at the end of the day, you know, they got the gavel bang, you know, from the acting president of the United Nations, and that was how we got here. And it's remarkable and it's significant that Her Excellency Remi Tinubu is coming here. And of course, we also have the First Lady of Angola. They'll be joining her here in Sierra Leone, Her Excellency Mrs. Ana Diaz Lorenco. So it's a great, big deal here happening for the Sierra Leonean version of the commemoration of the UN World Day. So everything is really coming together, not only for the individual countries, but for the collective protection of our girls across the continent. So that I'm just to buttress what Madam Ajoke has said. We have a very
Yeah. On that note, I think We'll now introduce our last speaker for tonight's special discourse, global discourse. We have the singular honor now to introduce Ebere. Please, can you introduce yourself and give us your statement too? Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'm Mrs. Ebere Gomwokijere. I'm Nigerian Swiss, based in Switzerland. I'm a scientist, writer, and entrepreneur, an advocate for good governance. I'm actively involved in Stop the Abuse Foundation. I have my friend and sister, Mrs. Toyin, who must have spoken. I'm so sorry I was logging in and logging out because I'm quite... I had to attend to something else. Yeah, I wouldn't say much concerning the abuse of young girls. You have said it all, but I think we still have a lot to do in the prevention. I'm more for prevention. I'm a scientist. I've worked in the medical field for over 25 years in Switzerland. And we focus more on prevention. How do you prevent getting diseases? So it's the same thing, the prevention of girls, preventing girls from being sexually abused, no matter what. The danger, the recovery. I don't think personally somebody can recover from being abused. It stays. You know, I'm a follower of Joyce Meyer's ministries, who was abused by her father for over maybe 15 years. She came out well, and she's doing a great job too. But the most importantly is, how do we prevent girls? And I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm not really happy. We are trying in Nigeria. I have a reason why I put the Swiss flag and the Nigerian flag here, right behind me. In Switzerland, one case is treated with aggressivity, and even someone can be put in life imprisonment for rape, and someone that killed somebody might not get life imprisonment, because sometimes people kill people maybe because they were abused by the person and all that, but rape is not taken lightly. That's it. So we have few cases of rape in Switzerland. I joined the Stop the Abuse Foundation, I think like 3-4 years. I wanted to leave after 2 months because I told Sister Toyin, what is happening in Nigeria is very bad. These cases that you keep on showing on the foundation, I have tears in my eyes how a baby can be raped, a 5-year-old is raped. I said, I need to leave. She says, sis, please stay. We need you there. You need your support there. I stayed, but against my own will, because it was traumatizing me seeing how some pastors are raping girls, and the justice, they pay police. I'm not politically correct. That's it. I'm not politically correct. I think we're not doing enough. I am not. Sorry to say. In Nigeria, it's very bad. I saw Boko Haram and headsmen raping. I told people, stop sending me big videos. Raping a 5-year-old girl in Osaka, and they are one after the other. And we don't hear what happened after. So we are not doing enough back home, because I'm coming from a different perspective where I hardly hear of rape. It can't happen. We prevent it. If somebody even touches the bum of a kid here, it's reported, and then it's taken high up. Even parents that tap the bum, it's not allowed. Why do you tap your daughter's or son's bum? Because from the tapping the bum, it's taken further up. So we really have a lot to do in Nigeria. Sister Toyin, I can say she's the best in Nigeria for fighting against abused girls, domestic violence. She tries, gets very little support from the government. She tries, and this year she has done a significant job so far. I, for 3 years, looked after a girl I've been supporting her. Thanks to my little support, she's been able to go back to school. At 13, she was abused and raped and got a child. At 13 years old, that means her whole future, sorry to say, is gone. How can you be a mother 13 years old? And thanks to the little support I send every month, she's able to go back to school. And we just got justice last week for the rapist, life imprisonment. But Sister Toyin has been on it nearly every day, 3 years, to get judgment. It's too long. Should be a 1-week affair. Go to the court, say what you have to say, and put the guy behind the bars. Or even, sorry to say, Some of them need death sentences. It is very, very bad. So we still have a lot to do in Nigeria. We haven't even come 10% halfway. I will tell you the truth, because the cases that she brings on board and are not treated because of the support she doesn't get financially, moral support and everything. There are many cases she has to let go of, and then we have tears in our eyes because we just feel helpless. So we have to. This is good talking, but I'm sorry to say, I'm very frank. We talk a lot back home, but we need to act. We need to act. Act more. Too much talk. We are too educated, too talkative, but very few people are active. And I love Sister Toyin. She's one person that walks the talk, and she's doing so much with the Stop the Abuse Foundation. And by God's grace, she will do more. So I sit down there with her, watching all this. I have my own foundation. I have the Berry Jerry Foundation in Kenya for orphans, widows, charity. I pay school fees for people. I'm trying to build classrooms. I give awards. It's all charity and all that. But when I came on board to Stop the Abuse Foundation, I asked myself, what was I doing there? And then she says, stay there, even your moral support and your prayers. And it has even helped me to even speak out, because it's really something that is even taboo. A girl could be raped, and then the mother will know. And in Nigeria, the mother supports the rapist and goes as much as going to the police to beg for the rapist. And it's crazy. So we need to act upon what we are all talking here. Yes, they did, but this is just a drop. A drop is never enough to save the girl child. We need to do more. And Nigeria is not doing enough, sorry to say. We have to work harder and walk the talk, because we talk a lot, but we don't do much. Let us do more for these girls and prevent being raped, not after. Schools need to be told. Girls need to know they can speak out, and they have a support system that would support them through the process. To those that have been violated, should know that they can get help, not that they can't even talk, and the parents are telling them, don't say anything or all that. We have a lot we can put in place. And if Her Excellency is coming to this program, let them walk the talk, please. That's my own. I will tell her the same thing. Walk the talk. No matter what, one girl child that is saved is worth 1 million lives. And it's really very important that we act upon, back up, support the government. Nigerian government should support those foundations, like my sister here that has a foundation. I don't know your name, sorry, ma, but you just spoke before me. Stop the Abuse Foundation. Support them financially. We have enough money in Nigeria. Do it. Give them support so they can reach out. We don't go and reach out. In Switzerland, there's everything, so you won't talk about supporting. But in Nigeria, the foundations are left on their own. So I'm here for the Stop the Abuse Foundation and any foundation that is striving, fighting to help the girl child, because they came out of their own goodwill to do this, and they were not forced to. But it's a good heart that will really go a long way to helping one child or many other lives. Thank you so much. I don't want to take time, but that's all I have to say, and we really need to do more. Thank you. God bless you.
Wow. Thank you so much. We are indeed very honored and privileged to have you, especially your insights, your honest view about what's happening in Nigeria, how you're really touched. Those videos, nobody can dispute you, nobody can argue with what you're saying. They are there on the public domain. All the international media have seen it, the Boko Haram menace, everything. So we're really happy to have you on the platform. But the good news is this: the reason why we are here, even gathered today, having this special discourse, is because a date has been set aside in the whole world, which is on Saturday 18th, the UN Day, and that was made possible by the First Lady of Sierra Leone, because of our Hands Off Our Girls campaign and every other partners. Of course, we heard that was co-presented by Nigeria and everything. But the good thing is, we personally championed this, and we're here to even at least having this in the international, not just international, the whole world, reserving a day. That alone is a step in the right direction. And that's why we're having this in the first place. You talking, speaking out, we also creating this platform is another way to start, until we get to that level where what is happening, like you said, the flag of Nigeria, Switzerland, what's happening in Switzerland is also get to that last part, that remote part. And the only way we can get that awareness is through this platform, through this awareness, through this campaign, through this public discourse. So we're indeed very grateful to everybody that have come on. We've heard stories from Malawi to Nigeria to the remote parts, Sierra Leone, Freetown, Apostle. So we are very, even here in the UK, Adi joining us, we are very happy. Thank you once again, Abere. We're very happy to have you. And thank you, Ajoke. Thank you, Apostle Vincent. Mr. Chris, you want to say something as round up?
Oh, well, yes. All of them, especially the last speaker, was very bullish on solutions, how we move forward. And I would say that the occasion of this forum, of this great platform, is not ending here. We have gathered all of you knowing what each and every one of you is capable of and are actually doing. We've gathered you by design because we want to move this to the next level. And, I want to beg to differ with you that the First Lady of Sierra Leone just talked. No. She's the only one really, or major person, who is actually doing something that is impacting down the line. Even Rasiba, the Vice President of the Southern region of Sierra Leone, just confirmed that. And everybody confirmed. And in fact, UN confirmed that. That is why they are making her the ambassador of virtually any and everything policies they have. She's like a bride now in the UN. She's like a superstar celebrity first lady. She's doing quite a lot. And exactly why we put this forum together so that at some point we will connect to her Hands Off the Girls campaign, which we might have to help with her to spread across Africa, not as a talk, but as a policy. If it means going to AU with her to ensure that this is done, trust me, this forum is capable and potentially equipped, well equipped enough to achieve that aim. So we are all on a novelty drive, on a novelty ride, because Hands of Our Girls campaign is novel, just as UN World Day that it inspired is novel. And this particular discourse itself, which preparatory to that, is also novel. So we're on a novelty ride. Where it will take us, I can bet you, is for the benefit of Africa as a continent, and of course, for the ultimate benefit of our girls, women, and of course, the victimized male child among them, which of course we all agree are few, but still significant anyway. So we're all on point, and my chairman, our chairman here, the host of the platform, he is a workaholic, and he's a go-getter. And I'm sure, I don't want to review so much here, he's passionate about the program, and he's excited too, and he knows how to take it to the level with us, where we need to take it from. There I am. I rest my case as it were.
Thank you very much. You well articulated, and I love the passion also you put into everybody that have put together the statement on this platform. This discourse has been awesome. We just want to thank every one of you. I love the part that you've taken it from different perspective. Every speaker has spoken uniquely. So we're very happy. Like you rightly said, this is just the beginning. We want to take this to the next level. Please stay with us. Let's have that journey ride where we will now pass this information, not just our generation, from where we stop to the next generation, until we get to that final bus stop, where, like Madam Ebere said, you don't, even where they are in Swiss, they don't touch. So everybody will be informed. We heard the stories by Iron Lady, Rasset, where everybody is now getting aware about what the First Lady is doing. So we're very happy that because of her, and that's why this is divine, that the UN, also accepting to do this. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Don't give up. I heard the story of Manabere saying, you know what, take me out of this. I'm tired of this. No, we need to keep it up. Because if we give up, nobody can say, because that passion you're giving there, forget about what is happening. When you keep pushing, one day and someday you will save so many. So I want to thank you all for joining this platform. We are very happy to have you all. Please, let's continue on this discourse. God bless you all.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Oh,
Thank
I think
you.
Vincent want to say something. You want to say something, Vincent? Apostle Vincent?
Yeah, I just want to tell the world that pastors, men of God, we are fighting to make it happen. And
Amen.
we will fight to call to make it happen, that our girls are always protected. And we are going to make it happen, that they are not only protected, we are going to develop them to know how important they are. That's why churches now, we have embarked on projects that we are going to encourage the girls that are coming up in the church to be engaged. So it's not a matter of pastors or men of God, women of God harassing these small kids coming up. No, we have the awareness and we are working towards it to make it happen, that the effort of the First Lady of Sierra Leone and the First Ladies in Africa will not go in vain. Because I know the First Ladies are all after this to make it happen. That's why we are pressing on. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will continue to be with you and to make this a very wonderful one.
Thank you so much. On that note, as we sign off, there's something I want to quickly say. There's a quick something from Madam Ebere, that she spoke passionately about Nigeria. Like I was saying, I quoted her from Boko Haram and every other thing, that she spoke passionately about Nigeria. That that means that she also acknowledged, what First Lady Sierra Leone has done and everything. So on that note, I want to say God bless you all. I love you all. Let's preach love with safe touch and protect the girl child. God bless you. Bye-bye.
I like that. Safe touch. Bye-bye.
Yes, safe touch. Yeah.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.